So, with the big businessmen making factories in the cities, I mean, of course, tons and tons of people wanted to move there. And as a result, cities are going to get very big very quickly. As the nation's industrial growth continued, cities like Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and New York City will grow rapidly as manufacturing and transportation centers. Let's not forget that these cities are on bodies of water. Chicago and Detroit on Lake Michigan, Cleveland on Lake Erie, Pittsburgh at the confluence of three rivers, and New York is on the ocean. So it makes sense that factories would pop up there. You make something there, and it'd be very easy to ship all over the world. Now, factories in the large cities will give workers jobs, yes, but with the large influx of immigrants and people coming in from the South, there was a housing crisis. Too many people were trying to come to the city at the same time. So workers' families will often live in harsh conditions, crowded into what we call tenements and slums. Now, I want you to think of tenements as just about the most awful, dirty, filthy, stinky, nasty apartment you could ever think of. And a slum is basically a collection of those apartments, a neighborhood, if you will. So think of a small room, maybe 10 foot by 10 foot. You got your whole family crowded in there. The building's not well maintained, so stuff might be peeling off the walls. There's not really any more than one window. There's rats, there's sanitation issues, there's no running water. So what you would do is you would collect your, waste matter in a pot and then eventually you dump it out the window. And it could turn into a very bad day for someone who was walking under the wrong window at the wrong time. Like I said, there were too many people in the cities, and the cities were just giving them ramshackle apartments to try to house everybody. All right. Very quick, very cheap, but not good. So the rapid growth of cities caused housing shortages, and there was a need for new public services. You can't keep tossing your poop out the window, so sewage and water systems become very normalized. We get indoor plumbing as a result of people coming into the cities and crowding. And there was also a need for public transportation. See, in the cities, you don't have enough space to work a train. So when you got to get to work and you got to get to your factory on the outskirts of town, you need some way to get there, especially if you don't have a car. So places like New York City began developing our nation's first subway system around the 20th century. And many other cities will build things called trolleys and streetcar lines. Let's take a look. As housing shortages got worse and worse, people couldn't have their own houses. So America had to build up. Cities didn't always have the land to keep getting bigger and bigger in circumference. So skyscrapers were needed to accommodate everybody. You can go up in the air if you can't go wide. And oftentimes we see these workers climbing up on these steel beams 20 stories in the air without harnesses. It is pretty scary and intimidating. The first subway system, like I mentioned, was underground. So it was wooden tracks with a train, and you kind of look kind of dapper as you went on the train. And think of a slum as something that looks like this. These are a collection of apartments. You see there's no windows, there's no aircon, no heating, no cooling. It looks like there's a ton of rubbish down there. Slums were just not very nice or pleasant places to live. Trolley cars, you can see this car has a hookup to a wire that is charging an engine, making it go forward on a track, and all you had to do was hop on and off to get to work.